we'll have to call this one the truth coming out. I, you'll have to pick and choose and decide what you want to believe. Half of what you see, none of what you hear. But I do have a few different posts here that I'd like to share with you. The first one being Gunther Eagleman. This recent diagnosis is a psyop. Even Brian Stelter calls the timing extraordinary. Stop believing things that come from the Biden family.
Look, this is breaking news that came just about 2 hours ago, and it is now rippling through, television media, online. How are people consuming this? How is it reaching people?
And, I'm seeing some prostate cancer survivors, people who have lived with this disease, who have been through this, expressing support, both condolences, but also support and cheering Biden on as he faces this. The timing, Jessica, is just extraordinary. We know from the statement from his personal spokesman that Biden learned of the diagnosis on Friday. Well, what was the biggest Biden story on Friday? It was the release of those audio excerpts from his conversations with Robert Hur back in 2023. This was the audio that Axios obtained, almost certainly from the Trump administration, showing memory lapses. And you heard a lot of people on Friday talking about that audio being hard to hear, even excruciating to hear. Biden showing his age on those audio tapes that had never been heard by the public until now. So on the day that story was breaking, Biden was facing this personal news. At least that's according to the statement from his personal spokesman. So you have that as one element of the timing here. And then you have, as you and Paul just acknowledged, this book coming out, one of the biggest political books in several years. Take out our colleague Jake Tapper for a second. This book, no matter where it was coming from, was going to be a very big blockbuster book. And it just so happens two of the best reporters in Washington, Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson, are the authors of it. It's already a bestseller based on the number of pre-orders. And so this book comes out in 2 days, but some of the excerpts have already come out, and it's reignited this debate in Washington and beyond within the Democratic Party about Biden, about whether he should have run for re-election at all. So it seems to me, Jessica, this debate doesn't end at all, but it is briefly put on pause as a result of today's news.
Yeah. But that one I didn't even have on my list to show you. I got a few others here, and I was actually debating on whether or not I wanted to title this one. And so the truth is revealed. Or another Gunther Eagleman post. Holy shit, the truth is coming out. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino just confirmed that they have troves of information about January 6th, and it's being sent to Congress.
What actually happened on January 6th?
So there is, as it seems that I find myself in a similar situation as Russiagate. Because on January 6th, in the prior Trump administration, I was the chief of staff to the Department of Defense. And I spent 4 years in a minor fortune litigating the truth because people politicized what actually happened on January 6th. And we now know unequivocally that President Trump lawfully authorized the deployment of National Guard, and me as the head of the Office of Secretary of Defense, with the Secretary of Defense, took that action. When it finally came in, because it had to have the governor and mayor of D.C.'s approval on it. That's the way the law works. And once it finally came in on January 6th, remember, we offered to them days beforehand, and they rejected it. We've put out the letters, and your show has done great coverage showing how it was rejected. We mobilized the fastest cold start in Washington, D.C. since World War II, and the largest occupation of D.C. by the National Guard since the American Revolution. That's what happened on January 6th. But what you and your viewers want to know, now that we've beat back that disinformation campaign with actual truth, is what was the FBI doing? Well, we got answers coming. We just found a trove of information, and it's on its way to Capitol Hill right now. And they've asked, and they're getting them, and you're getting answers on January 6th. You're getting answers on what sourcing was utilized, what money was utilized, how many assets were utilized, who made those decisions. You're getting it. We can only control the FBI, but you're getting it from the FBI.
Were there FBI agents undercover egging people on?
Like I said, that answer is coming, and it's on its way to Congress.
You're about to, I saw it. I saw the portfolio of information. We dug far and wide to find it. And I'm pretty sure now we have a conclusive, definitive answer. but you and the public are going to have it. You're going to see it in writing over to Capitol Hill. But I just want to be sure we're clear, having been an agent and a police officer. There is a difference between an agent. I know you know this. I don't mean to sound ridiculous. An agent, meaning a trained GS 1811 federal agent, and a source or an asset. There's a difference. So when you see the material, which I promise you is coming, again, I'm not asking you to trust us. I know it's coming because I saw it yesterday. When you see it, I just want you to understand that it's not an apology for anything.
Thank you.
But there's a difference between agents and assets. Yeah. And I just hope when
this is going to be definitely a bombshell. I am a little bit intrigued by the reluctance here to answer the questions that are being asked here by Maria, but I can only imagine what will be revealed coming. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this truth coming out? What do you think about eminent domain?
The rumblings in the state of California. You have the last house standing on Malibu Beach. It was singed by the fires. It was not leveled. Very fortunate for you, obviously. But you're hearing rumblings now that those beaches in Malibu, including your house potentially, may be taken by the government under eminent domain. And it's just rumblings and rumors and so forth. But that's very concerning. What are you hearing?
I got a phone call yesterday from a guy that sells trillions with a T of insurance premiums per year worldwide. He's actually covering my home, okay, and along with a 15,000 unit portfolio that we cover with him. And he says, Grant, are you hearing anything about eminent domain on the coastline? And I said, no, I haven't heard that yet. What are you talking about? And he's like, we're hearing the first rumblings from property owners that are trying to get covered, that nobody can understand. Why is nothing being done? Why is the beach not being picked up? Why haven't the bore samplings and environmental stuff been done? Why are only 4 permits been approved in 4 months? And those 4 permits, by the way, Steve, were done before the fires. So they were already in place. And the talk is now that the state of California is planning to seize the coastline in Malibu.
The truth is coming out, folks. It's funny because, where we started, and where we're going to end on this one is, it's interesting here. We got another Cash Patel clip I want to show you. That one's actually going to, much like what we just heard from Grant Cardone, it's going to impact and affect your money. And so I do want you guys to be aware and cognizant and hopefully save and protect. Okay. There's a link in the description down below, our partner Chapter, for free Medicare help, free Medicare consultations. And I would just give them a call. Ask them, is there any way for me to save any money on my Medicare so that, I can put money back in my Social Security? 270-467-2426 and listen to what they have to say. Perhaps maybe it will shock you. Just as shocking as this PSYOP could possibly be with Joe Biden, and how Nick Sorter says, well, wow, Joe Biden said literally over 2 years ago that he had cancer. The Biden regime at the time called it a gaffe. Have they been covering this up for years?
And because it was a 4-lane highway that was accessible, my mother drove us, and rather than us be able to walk. And guess what? The first frost, you know what was happening? You had to put on your windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. And why for the longest time, Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation. And because it was a 4-lane highway.
Yeah, he literally said it. Literally. Unless maybe somebody typed it in his teleprompter reading and his script there. Maybe. CNN's Van Jones warns the Democrats will suffer long-term fallout for Biden cover-up. Let's hear what he has to say here.
Van, I remember how emotional you were in the immediate moments after the June 27th, 2024 debate because of what you saw on the stage. And with all this new reporting coming out, and I should disclose that I gave both of you copies of the book so you would have a little bit more information. Do you feel like you were duped, Van? Like, how do you feel?
First, this book is extraordinary. I don't care who you are, left, right, or otherwise. Anybody who cares about this country and about just the dynamics of power, this is the emperor's new clothes playing itself out in real time. Everybody knew, but everyone was afraid to say, except for David Axelrod for 2 years, that something was wrong here. And so, I was shocked. I love Joe Biden. I don't like him. I love him. I got a chance to work with him when I was a part of the Obama administration and loved him more every day. I was shocked to see his condition when he came out, and so was the world. And that wasn't the first time he was in that condition. The book makes it very, very clear. There are people who knew and said nothing. And that is a crime against this republic. And I think the Democrats are going to pay for a long time for being a part of what is now being revealed to be a massive cover-up.
I think probably the most important part here is just how early we are into President Trump's second term, how much President Trump has accomplished so far. The achievements, the accomplishments, the success, the wins, the campaign promises made, promises kept and delivered. And he's still got a lot left to do and a lot of time left to get it done. But I would have to assume that equally and, equal and opposite, in just a short period of time, the Democrats have absolutely, completely destroyed and demolished their party. Okay. From within, literally just stabbing each other in the back simultaneously, left and right, and then throwing each other under the bus. I don't know how they recover from this. I don't know where they go from here besides continuously losing or else potentially cheating or worse. No, not lying. That's standard. That's common for the Democrats. For instance, how KJP here, it's better if I show you rather than I just try to tell you.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. I can't even keep up with it.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
I can testify because I've been working very closely with this president for the past 2 years. I've been knowing him for 30 years. And I'm telling you, this guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game.
Joe Biden has vision. He has knowledge. He has a strategic thinker.
The president is focused. He's detail-oriented. He's always thinking about the big picture.
He is engaging. He is capable. He has an incredible record as president.
And I'm often with him on foreign trips. He's at the top of his game.
So he has a vision. He has knowledge. He has judgment. He has a strategic thinking.
I met with the president, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he seemed fine to me.
I have complete confidence in the president. I have watched him expertly guide meetings of staff and cabinet members. I could not have more confidence in the president.
I would just tell you that I meet frequently with the president, and every single time I meet with him, he is just fine.
But he is, knowledgeable, wise.
Incredibly sharp, incredibly probing, incredible command of the details.
He is sharp. He is on top of things.
There is nothing to these challenges, these suggestions that somehow he's not sharp and he's not capable.
We see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issue.
And you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has.
I say his age is an asset.
He's wise.
Yes, he's wise. He has wisdom. He has experience.
And his experience, because of his age and his wisdom, has been invaluable to this country.
A lot of countries, people who've been in office a longer period of time are praised for their wisdom.
I have seen a lot of 72-year-olds not as capable as this 80-year-old.
It is hard for us to keep up with this president.
His mental acuity is great. It's fine. It's as good as it's been over the years. He's fine. All this right-wing propaganda that his mental acuity has declined is wrong.
And this kind of sense that he's not ready for this job is just a bucket of BS that's so deep, your boots will get stuck in.
Says right-wing propaganda. These folks will literally smile in your face while stabbing you in the back and pissing on you, telling you it's raining at the same damn time. Just wait until they get a hold of your money, folks. Like I said, we've got one more from Kash Patel. Please pay attention, folks. I hope you're hearing me. If you hear the knock at the door and it's the government saying that they're here to help, know that they do not mean that at all. Okay, we are draining the swamp here for sure. We have a lot of work left to do, and the truth is coming out for without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, the truth has come out with you guys as well, leaving comments and letting me know how much money you've been saving by calling Chapter about your Medicare. The number is on the screen down below in the description and pinned comment, and I encourage you to give them a call. I encourage you to do all you can to save money, protect yourself, but pay very, very close attention to what Kash Patel has to say here, because this is coming next.
So I think we got to educate people that the Federal Reserve is not a public government entity. It's a private entity owned by the robber barons that started this country, who manipulate the currency to their advantage. And that needs to be tackled. Again, I'm not the economic guru. I just know it's a problem. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what the solution is, but it needs to be addressed.